Now it's my pleasure to welcome Katerina Mina. She's a graduate of the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. She is a London-based Greek Cypriot soprano and was a prize winner at the Julian Gaillard International Singing Competition in Spain and Concorso Vocale Internazionale di Musica Sacra in Italy, as well as the winner of the 2009 Madame Figaro magazine Singer of the Year Awards. Her opera studies were fully sponsored by the Corporation of London and the A.G. Leventis Foundation. She sung major roles with British Youth Orchestra, Stats Theatre Cottbus, Polobov Novaya Opera of Moscow, and English Tourist Opera. I noticed in one of your roles was Sieglinde, and I thought, well, yesterday with all that noise going on, you would have had no trouble being heard about. And it also struck me, maybe we should have got all the presenters to sing. Anyway, my pleasure to introduce to you Katerina.
Thank you very much. I would like to start somewhere here. Is that okay?
We're just going to turn this off to mute it. So.
If it doesn't bother you there, it's fine.
It's fine. It's okay for the camera.
If it does bother you, I can turn it off.
No, it's okay. Good morning to everybody, and a very big thank you to John and Alicia for inviting me to talk in this conference today. I've got my talk on my iPad. It'll take like half a minute to get it on. The title of my talk that I sent to Alicia when she asked me to, and I sent a little paragraph with it. Female opera singers of Cyprus at the beginning of the 21st century. Their role, their journey, their future. And when I went back to my notes that I wrote a few weeks ago about this, I realized that my initial title was slightly different than this. And I kind of had to rephrase it in a way so that it wasn't perhaps so acute or shocking as it looked to me when I went back and read it. So my initial title was Cypriot Female Opera Singers, Their Existence and Development with the Turn of the Century. Can they make history? Now, Cyprus' tradition in opera and operatic singing hasn't been so deep. Comparing it to countries like Italy, France, Russia, or countries like Germany and Austria, where each city, every town even, has an opera house. Yet over the years, Cyprus has produced very good contemporary or traditional female singers who eventually base themselves abroad and enjoy big careers in their field. I've been in London for 21 years. I came here to study at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and I ended up spending most of my life in London. I'm very happy about this. I feel very thankful to be able to sustain myself abroad and to do what I love most, which is to sing, to perform, to be on stage, to grasp every opportunity I have around me. But here I have a lot of opportunities. The older I become, the more I appreciate the encouragement and support I still receive from my parents, and the incredible passion my mother has for operatic singing. My mother, a woman of Cyprus, dare I say, the woman of Cyprus, adored singing and acting, and wanted to pursue a career in operatic singing, but was not allowed by her parents to even receive singing tuition. Like my mother, there were, I'm sure, so many other women of Cyprus wanting to become musicians, singers, composers, artists, dancers, actresses, who lived with their dream. Probably not all of them passed on their passion to their children like my mother did to me. And I wonder whether 40, 50 years later, at the beginning of the 21st century, this has changed and whether it has changed enough. Over the years, more and more Cypriot female singers come forward. They train their voices, they enter music academies and conservatories around the world, pursue careers in singing. Statistically, most of these singers are contemporary, less of them go for a career in classical and operatic singing. Yet Cyprus produces amazing operatic voices too. Being located close to Africa, the Cyprus female operatic voice is very special in tone and color. Most of the times it has a ravishingly dark and beautiful timbre that makes it very distinguished and rare. Yet the Cypriot female opera singer faces a few fundamental problems in pursuing an international career in singing. The lack of tradition in opera resulted in limited opportunities for opera singers to train their voices well, to perform and gain stage experience. Poor operatic tuition in Cyprus doesn't allow all singers with good voices to enter the music academies abroad. The non-existence of a national opera company of Cyprus with its own house does not give the opportunity to Cypriot operatic singers on the island to develop, and to the ones studying abroad to receive all the necessary experience on stage that the rest of the European opera singers receive in their countries. A few female singers of my mother's generation who pursued an operatic career abroad have now returned back to Cyprus, with the exception of one or two who are based in European cities and have become tutors in very well-established universities. The younger generation of female classical singers is certainly increasing. The question, though, is whether they're able to pursue an international career and to which extent. Entering an international academy of music is a very big achievement. Coming out of it, being able to sustain a career and make a living out of your singing is another. So what does the future hold for the Cypriot sopranos and mezzo-sopranos of our generation? That was my initial question also that I had when I started thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this presentation. I personally know young singers in Cyprus with exceptional voices who, after finishing their studies and not being able to sustain themselves abroad, they have returned to Cyprus, where they either teach in one of the music schools or the public schools, or they work in a completely different field. Some of them even work in bars and restaurants. And let me get this straight. There's absolutely nothing wrong with teaching. I do it every day, including weekends. And the satisfaction I receive from the fact that I can pass on my knowledge to the younger generation, and I can see the development of these young singers, is the satisfaction and the happiness is immense for me. Of course, there's certainly nothing wrong with teaching at a public school. I did this for nearly 4 years also in London. And there's certainly nothing wrong with waitering. I did that too at some point for nearly 2 years. What's wrong is being unable to do what you love most. These young operatic singers would give anything to perform on stage. I know this for a fact because I've worked with some of them recently and have personally experienced their incredible passion for singing. My talk today is an open call to the women of Cyprus who are financially privileged and are philanthropists to come forward, to talk with me, to become the women for Cyprus, to unite forces in order to form the Cyprus National Opera. it's about time we do this. So that in 40, 50 years from now, Cypriot opera singers can make history. Thank you.